Ever wonder how a decades-old company can suddenly surge ahead by embracing new tech?
Well, when I joined Mintel, there were 70 people in London, and now there are about 1,200 people in about 15 countries around the world. Going from a primarily paper-based deliverable to a fully digital deliverable was absolutely transformational for us. It was some of the fastest growth years of our history. That AI has the potential to democratize that and help everyone get the most out of SaaS tools. And I think the impact will be much bigger.
In this episode, I chat with Jason Thompson, SVP of Innovation at Mintel, about their leap from paper-based reports to online delivery and why it's the perfect blueprint for riding today's AI wave. If you're looking for insider tips on harnessing emerging technology to grow your business, keep watching. What I really find really fascinating is that Mintel's actually been around for a while, but it was really the internet kind of era and the emergence of the internet that really seems to have kind of allowed Mintel to grow into kind of a global powerhouse. Would you?
100%. You're exactly right. When I joined Mintel in 1996, we were experimenting with online systems, but mostly we were delivering our insight and our product and our services on paper. We actually had a big printing machine in the basement that would churn out thousands of books every month.
Right.
And when I joined, my predecessor had started using Lotus Notes to deliver information online. That was using modems. We had a modem bank in the data room, in the data center room, and I joined to help Mintel get onto the internet. And it was in 1996, I think we started delivering insight over the internet, kind of mid-1997, and it was transformational. We went through a process of taking everything that we did on paper and putting it onto databases, initially delivering it on CD because internet wasn't fast enough, and then finally, probably within a couple of years, certainly by 1999, everything we were doing was starting to go over the internet. The CDs, just like any technology change, actually, we were still sending CDs out for 5, maybe 10 years. And in fact, we were still sending books out for 5 or 10 years, but that all stopped in the 2000s. So going from a primarily paper-based deliverable to a fully digital deliverable, and in particular over the internet, was absolutely transformational for us. It was some of the biggest, fastest growth years of our history, and it was really exciting because it felt like everyone was figuring out what was going on.
Right.
No one knew all the answers, and it felt like anything was possible.
Yeah.
I must say, it feels the same right now with AI. It feels like the opportunity is similar, except it's happening faster, and I think the impact will be much bigger.
Right.
I think the impact will be much bigger. So
right. So by 1999, the Mintel was putting out digital deliverables. So were you finding customers were ready to accept things online?
100%. Yeah. And more than that, the value of a paper deliverable, where in order to consume it, you have to read through it all or summarize it or take notes, compared to a digital deliverable where you can search through it and you can read it online and take the bits away that you want. That was massive. It was a massive increase in value. And at the time, there was a commensurate increase in prices and so profits. We invested a lot in technology, but actually it was transformational for our business. And you can see some parallels there as well, actually. If you look at what AI promises to be able to do, it promises to be able to unlock the value in what you're doing. We have gigabytes, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of documents and billions of data points. And in order to get the most out of it, you have to be able to find it. You have to be able to figure out what's most relevant to what you want to do. And then you need to be able to make sense of it. And all that takes effort and actually understanding what we do. And I think one of the big promises of AI is that it can be that expert for you. It can interpret, it can find things, it can interpret things. And I think it's going to change our industry. I think it's already changing our industry. So
Right.
it's the most exciting time ever to have been at Mintel.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
More exciting than there's...
Yes. I mean, when I joined Mintel, there were 70 people in London, and now there are about 1,200 people in about 15 countries around the world. So the business is very different. Many of us have grown up with the business, but in my role that I've got at the moment, I've got an innovation role at Mintel, looking at what's unique to Mintel and the opportunities afforded by new technologies. And at the moment, that's all about generative AI. My role, my job is more fun than it's ever been in the past.
Right.
And I think it's going to have a bigger impact. I think technology and help, and all of us at Mintel helping to find the value and get the value out of the technology. I think it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah. So kind of fast forwarding to today, then what do you see as some of those impacts?
So if I think about what Mintel does, it starts off with collecting. So we're experts in what consumers want and why, and we help our clients understand consumers and consumer markets, what's happening now, what we think is going to happen next, and then we give them advice on what they should do about it. And the way we do that is we collect lots and lots of data about consumers and consumer markets of various different forms. And so it might be information from new products launched on supermarket shelves around the world, or it might be information from credit card direct mail that's sent to consumers in the US. And what we do is we take that raw data, which in that case is a physical product or a piece of paper, and we digitize it. We take images of it, and we take lots of data points of it. We put that in a database, and then we provide tools for our clients and for our analysts to analyze that data and make sense of it and find insight in that data. Well, at every step of the way in that chain, there's the possibility for AI to help do things more flexibly, more scalably, and more quickly, and more cheaply. Because at the moment, there's a lot of human involvement in that. And I think there will always be human involvement in this, but I think there's the opportunity to do more, to be more agile, and to scale up what we do. And that could be game changing. More than that, once we've got this data, one of the things we do with it internally is we create content, we write insight, we write reports and articles that help our clients make sense of what's happening. Data itself is great, and many of our clients appreciate that, but there's a learning curve, and there's a lot of effort that goes into understanding it. One of the things we do is we have our research analysts use our data and find what's important and make it relevant for our clients. And that process as well, there's lots of opportunities for AI to help make that process more efficient, to help make it more scalable, and if used in the right way, to improve quality in that process as well. And then finally, there's the user interface. We're finding that clients might have 50 sources of information, 50 SaaS tools to learn. And even if the SaaS tool is really simple, actually there's a learning curve in understanding when to use it, how to interpret the data, how to use the tools. And clients often don't have time. So you'll often find there's experts within clients that are doing this. Well, I think that AI has the potential to democratize that and help everyone get the most out of SaaS tools. And I think that that's going to be applicable across markets, so and across industries. So that's what we're dreaming of, is that a client doesn't need to be an expert in Mintel to use our data and our services. Instead, they just bring their questions and their opportunities that they want to explore, and then AI in the middle helps them get the most out of it. So that, I mean, it's kind of like a dream technology. We've been dreaming of doing this. It's been our aspiration to make Mintel effortless for about 10 years now. And finally, the technology, I think, is this close to making it a reality.
Right. So does that effortless interface look like a chat interface, or what do you
Not
think?
yet.
Right, right.
But I think it will at some point. I think it will look like a chat interface. The one thing most of us have in common is we can all talk to each other. And actually, interestingly, I think that the rise of generative AI tools and chatbots hopefully means that everyone will get just a little bit better at clearly communicating what they mean.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can speak to or type your questions in natural language, and then the AI system can help clarify what you mean, put it into context, and then use the content and the data and the tools on your behalf, then I think that makes it truly accessible, and that's what we're thinking about.
Right.
And you've seen Claude with its artifacts, and ChatGPT with Canvas, showing potentially new ways of user experience, where you have a chat history on the left, and you talk to the system, and then you have a workspace on the other side where you do your work. And I think that might end up being a common paradigm for user interfaces. So we're looking at all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. One of the things I wonder about is there's a lot of tacit information that your analysts will know about clients, and about the background of the company, each client specific goals, and even what's in the Mintel kind of warehouse. And at the moment, that there's this memory piece is very weak, because every interaction you kind of need to load up everything, right?
100%. And I think my personal opinion is that's why people are still going to be the most important part of our business. Having people that truly understand the context and can connect the dots. If you think about what we know as an organization, probably only 10% of it is written down, and the other 90% is in the hundreds or thousands of years of experience. It must be thousands of years if you think we've got 1,200 people. So thousands of years of experience in our organizational memory. And I think that's going to continue to be important. But I think that there are certain things that you can use AI for that will potentially save our people so much time. They can spend more time talking to clients. I was talking to one of our research analysts, a senior research analyst, and she was saying that we spend 80% of our time writing,
right,
and 20% of our time talking to clients and talking to people. And I think our goal is to flip that. So to spend 20% of our time creating content and services, and 80% of our time talking to people. And my suspicion is that authentic human connection is going to become particularly important for all kinds of industries, and some of the work that goes on behind it is going to become more and more automated. But yeah, I think you make a really good point that actually most of the knowledge, or a lot of the knowledge, is in people's heads. You can probably get some of that out into tacit knowledge, either in some of that tacit knowledge out into the AI systems, either from people using the system and you kind of tracking that and helping to train models, or from explicitly eliciting knowledge. But it's not, I don't think it's ever going to be complete. People, I think, are probably going to become more.
That was an incredible look at how Mintel reinvented itself during the internet revolution. It's wild how many similarities we can draw to today's AI wave.
I remember the 90s when people thought surfing the web was literal and a silver surfer was a grandma on a surfboard. And now we've got people thinking AI is some omniscient oracle when half the time it hallucinates like a sleep-deprived grad student.
Well, there are ways to work around those shortcomings, but it's clear there's a massive advantage for companies that recognize the right moment to invest in new tech. If you want to see how we're guiding hundreds of businesses on AI strategy, check out the link in our description. Subscribe to our newsletter to start your own revolution. Thanks for watching.